manager with emergency management issues. So, and that means we start with preparedness, and preparedness is a big deal. I know a lot of you have had some NIMS training, and we've done some things through the years, and that National Incident Management platform and foundation is vital, and you can see now why that's such an important task that we've done. So we look at preparedness, response, mitigation, and recovery. And thankfully we are into the recovery phase in our city and county, so that is a good thing. But let me start at Saturday morning, and when most people didn't think about it a whole lot. We received a tornado watch around 6:30 in the morning on Saturday, the 25th. One of my concerns was a little plot of land that the city of Dothan owns called the National Peanut Festival. That is the city limits of Dothan. And when I say we own, I mean we own the jurisdiction there. We own the responsibilities of protecting the people that are inside that fence. And we had totally it going on. So one of the concerns that I had was 800 people in the camping area with a tornado watch and no way to tell them. So we contacted the police department, our sheriff's department, to go out with their PA speakers to let those campers know that we were under a tornado watch and everyone needed to pay particular attention to the weather. We also have worked with any agency that goes on that fairgrounds that there is an emergency management plan. We don't have very well hardened structures out there, but we do have some buildings that can get you out of the weather. So we were fortunate enough that when we moved later on into the afternoon, where we ended up with a severe weather warning, which did occur throughout our city and throughout our county, we moved every camper, some not wanting to, into the ag barns, etc., until the weather passed. I believe that one action saved lives. 800 people. I had a man tell me this morning at a local restaurant that I'd stopped to get a cup of coffee at, that him and his family was there. And it was aggravating that they had to move into the ag barn, but their children, just 5 minutes before that, were riding their bicycles. And if they hadn't gotten them off the street, the debris alone could have created all kinds of havoc. It's amazing when you look at preparedness and how sometimes we take it lightly, but it's valuable and vital. But here's where I'm going with this. Throughout this event, it's put up there with Opal. It's been the worst storm we've had, we know, in 20 years. We've been very fortunate, we've been very blessed, and we was with this storm. Because with a hurricane, y'all, we track for days and days. Tornadoes come up quickly, and we have very little time to react. But straight line wind and we have severe thunderstorm warnings almost every day during the summer months. So for us to have that hit as fast as it did with no warning, basically, no reactionary warning, it is amazing. It's a miracle that we only had 2 minor injuries during the storm. And that's all we've been able to determine. And we've had 1 employee that was injured. Moderate injury on an orthopedic issue. But those kinds of things happen. But we had 1. So very fortunate. 3 injuries that I'm aware of associated with a storm that, when you look back at Tuscaloosa, when you had numerous fatalities and thousands of injuries. Now, we had a lot of destruction here, not to that level, but it was a very bad storm for us. So I want everybody, I said this, I'm going to say it now, I hope everybody's okay with it. We need to get out on our knees at some point and be grateful for and thankful for what did not happen that could have happened in our community. And I believe it has a lot to do with the emergency management aspects of this city and this county, and the men and women of this city and county that bust their tails every day to assure that they have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to step up and perform when we have to. So enough of the soapbox. Just had to say that a minute. Let me get down to some facts real quick. It was announced at 4 o'clock yesterday that we had in the county, this is countywide, city included, 22 totally destroyed homes, 35 majorly damaged homes, 27 moderately damaged homes, 28 minor damaged homes. They're continuing to damage assess, but as you can see, the damage is continuing to be evaluated. We know we have to reach 6.7 million statewide to get federal funding. We already have met the mark for the county of 300,000 for state. However, the state usually will wait till there's federal assistance before they do anything, okay? Which is normal. So we're continuing to evaluate that. One of the big things will be Mr. Corbin's debris pile. That's why we don't want to burn it until we're able to calculate the total cubic yards of how much debris we have, because it's a formula that determines that. The county's already determined that they have $2.2 million worth of debris. So as you can see, that adds up real quickly on that 6.7. So it's something we want to make sure that we're able to see. If we're able to get federal assistance to assist us, we sure would like to be able to do that. The EMA director, Mr. Steve Carlisle, is continuing to monitor that. He's working with them as I speak. He's texted me 4 times sitting here. And just be patient, Steve. I get with you, brother. And we'll get back with him. So we're continuing to work on that. Finance is working real hard in our city to compile all that data to get it over to EMA so that we can determine if we have anything. We fed over 25,000 people through 4 meals through outreach. Mr. Dorsey, the mayor, numerous ones of you were involved in that. We thank you so much for bringing that forward to make that happen. But the Salvation Army, the City of Dothan, Leisure Services, 211, the food bank provided ice, water, Gatorades, hot meals for citizens that had no power, no refrigeration, and no means to take care of themselves. And I'm grateful we were able to do that. We also fed our employees, kept them hot meals, keeping them nourished throughout the event. Again, the no major injuries is one of the things that I keep coming back to. We had a lot of people without power. They're on oxygen. We had to deal with that issue. And we've determined the things we can do in the future to help us there. Y'all heard several things about the safety messages about debris and trees that can still fall. We've also there's a chance you could still have a charged power line. So we want everybody to not touch anything, any type of lines on the ground, walk away from them. Call the hotline or your trouble call for Dothan Utilities and let them do a follow-up and evaluate it. Don't touch anything. You got limbs that may be still on lines coming into the houses. Don't touch them. Get somebody professional who knows how to deal with that. And one thing that we don't really address a whole lot that we need to think about is the debris pile height on the side of the highway. You know, you can have some of these neighborhoods, you may have debris piles that are 10, 15 feet high that obstructs your normal view. So I'm sure the police is going to continue to monitor these subdivisions. You know, we have speed limits, but that speed limit is when everything is normal, right? When everything is good, when there's no wet roads, when there's no piles of debris on the side. A child can dart out in front of you in a second, you not see it because they're already in the middle of the roadway. So be careful in these subdivisions where we've got these debris piles that are real high. We really want our public to know that. I could go on, I need to stop. I just want to say that, number one, I'm very appreciative to the City Commission, Mr. West and the department heads for all their support during this ordeal. We made some mistakes. I will tell you, I don't think we made many major ones. I believe that the things that we made is just because we don't deal with these on a regular basis, and thank the Lord for that. But I do know that we're going to continue to evaluate through a post-incident analysis with after-action reviews and continue to tweak our disaster plans, city and county-wide, to determine what we can do to improve our response and our level of service the next time this happens, because it will. And we just need to be prepared a little bit better. So thank you so much for allowing me to serve in this capacity, Mr. West.
Thank you.